A very good evening and thank you so much for joining us tonight on BeeTv Major News at 6, coming to you live from Benin City, the Edo State capital, Nigeria. I am Gift Uwagboy. And now to the news. The member representing Igwebe constituency at the Edo State House of Assembly, Honorable Eugene Inegbebo, has expressed sadness over the gruesome killing of a young man in Ward 5, Udo, in Igwebe local government area by herdsmen, and several other similar attacks in the community that have led to deaths and injuries of indigenes of the local government area. BeeTv News Status correspondent Osaroge Agwebo reports that Honorable Eugene made this known during Monday's plenary session. The report.
At the resumption of the plenary session at Edo State House of Assembly after a 3-week break, the member representing Igwebe constituency, Honorable Eugene Inegbebo, in a personal explanation, expressed sadness over the recent herdsmen attacks in his constituency, particularly in Udo, Ward 5, Igwebe, where a young man named Eiji Moses was gruesomely murdered while trying to rescue 6 persons kidnapped by herdsmen, and several other similar attacks in his community that have led to death and severe injuries. Other lawmakers expressed displeasure over the rate of insecurity ravaging communities in Edo State, saying the matter should be treated not as a personal explanation but as a matter of urgent public importance, and pushed for a more deliberation on insecurity in the state, which was later slated for the day sitting on Tuesday, April 29.
The rate of insecurity ravaging different communities in Edo State is a matter worthy of full attention. It cannot be accommodated by way of personal explanation.
As long as this issue of kidnapping is still bothering all the people of Edo State, whether it is done in the southeast or anywhere, Mr. Speaker, I think we should give it a better communication. Allow the member representing Igwebe state constituency to come with his debate. Let us look into it properly.
Because if it's a no, it should have been stopped. Until it is stopped, it's a new thing. It's what we call continuing acts. If people were killed in Igobalo and the motion is going on it, and another person is killed in Okada. Yes, Okada, sir. And another motion is going on it. You cannot say because that of Igobalo was killed, Okada is space. I think we should allow the member representing
developments, the lawmakers observed a minute silence in honor of a former member of the Edo State House of Assembly, Honorable B.A. Itwa from Mesa Central, who passed away recently, Osarogi Agwebo, reporting for BeeTv News.
Residents of Edo State have urged the Edo State government to explore other means of transportation, such as intra-city rail and water jetty transportation in Edo State. BeeTv News Freeman Osawe reports that the respondent believe that an all-round comprehensive transportation service will make the state more economically prosperous. The report.
Transportation is one of the most important critical sectors in the development of any society. It encompasses into different means such as water transportation, rail system, amongst others. Some residents in Benin City urge the Edo State government to invest more in other means of transportation which can help in boosting the economic activities of the state and also improve movement of goods and services. Apart from the intracity, according to them, bus services, other means of transportation would help make the state more economically viable and improve the movement of goods and services.
When you are trying to create means of transportation, they're also supposed to be a very good road network. So when there's a good road network, transportation can come in a different way. They can do more, or maybe on the jet you talk about, or the railway stuff. It can be put here to other state that is linked to Edo State to make it more easier for people to travel.
Train, but I don't know, they will make sure they have a proper plan. Because without a proper plan, it will not work. But I prefer that train. It's easier than because people that will build the train, the railway, so there will be job opportunities too through that process. So that's just it.
Yeah. It can. Yes, it's a good idea if they like introduce that kind of thing in Edo State. It's a good idea. Yeah, it's a good idea.
Opinion is that if the government make a good roads, because the town is not too very busy or so choked up that vehicle is that, let me say, scarce. If the vehicle is available and the roads are accessible, so the best thing to handle the transportation problem in Edo State is the government to make a good roads.
It is expected that the state government will look into improving the transportation services in the state. Freeman Osawe reporting for BeeTv News.
Yams of various sizes are now selling for 3,000 naira, 2,500 naira and 1,500 naira against an initial price of 800 and 900 naira. BeeTv News Freeman Osawe reports that yam traders suggest price hike is determined by the transportation fares. The report.
Yams are essential food carbohydrate and consumed by many. A recent market survey shows the abundance of the commodity, but hiking price remains a factor as the tuber of yams such as the Hausa yam, it may cost 1,500 naira and 2,500 naira, even up to 3,000 naira, against a former price of 800 naira and 1,000 naira. Traders said the price of yam is determined by the cost of transportation, which is also a major factor influencing the hike in food commodities. They further said patronage is still very okay despite the hike in price.
Arsala 2002, 2000. This size 25. The one where they want on 2002. Okay. The last one Arsala 2000.
Okay, so why now? I don't think that price now. I don't think you know sell.
No, if you put out the Russian money, I will say one for you now.
If I say make you one for 1.5 now, you don't say.
For you know, say no, this guy 1.5. So now this kind of people do the mutual. They say for us, money for motor too much. Yes, your transport. No, you can't say transport, you don't have to. Oh, no, fast 1.5 how much 1,000. Okay. Yes, sir.
Honestly speaking, yam is not as before again. Initially, before we buy this yam 300, it cost 500. Yes. But today now 2.5. Imagine to even buy as a family man. Now this one not go believe me and my children. You see, say now just as we call the do, we go add many pepper inside the one cooker, so that the children chop and they go drink plenty water. You understand?
Because it's yeah, I don't know. Somewhere they buy the other one where you follow this one 2.5, this one 2,000, the smallest one 1.5. Before I would say yourself one of the 1,000, okay. 1.5. So 1.5 now you go inside 2,000.
Freeman Osawe reporting for BeeTv News.
The leaders of the All Progressive Congress in Enugu East Senatorial Zone have expressed support for President Bola Tinubu's re-election bid come 2027, and this comes as Minister of Science and Technology Uchie Nanchi advocates collective effort to empower people in the lowest ranks of the economy to be able to contribute positively to the development of the society. The report.
It is a convergence of political stakeholders from Enugu East Senatorial Zone, the All Progressive Congress Party faithful file according to the council areas in solidarity for President Tinubu re-election bid. They filed that Indian numbers to install the president for the appointment of Minister of Science and Innovative Technology. Nanji, supported by various developmental projects attracted to the state, APC members unanimously endorsed President Bola Tinubu as their sole presidential flag bearer from the senatorial zone and the minister as governor in the 2027 general election.
We are supporting Ahmed Aswadi Tinubu for 2027 and we are adopting him. Our minister have attracted a lot of projects in Enugu State. Our minister have attracted a lot of employment in Enugu State, and that is the help of Ahmed Aswadi Tinubu.
Apart from the rally ground, the minister shared skill acquisition and empowerment program for indigenous natives of Akujewa community in BeeTv local government area of Enugu State. The program was attended by top APC state functionary, community heads, women groups, students, and grassroots leadership.
My parents took it upon themselves to train me, and then I graduated. I said that at least one of the ways I can give back to my communities to at least help these students do well in their respective endeavors, rewarding excellency in academics, picking youths who are very determined to earn a living for themselves. We encourage them, we advise them, we encourage them to.
Items worth millions of naira were distributed, scholarship and skill acquisition scheme provided for unemployed youth, and knowledge impacting programs to the indigenous community residents being carried out by the APC local government chairman Simon Atta Esohe Osenegi, reporting for BeeTv News.
Christian youths have been admonished to shun social vices that might hinder their growth spiritually and otherwise, but rather focus on self-development that will contribute to their advancement and the betterment of the society. This was contained in a speech delivered by Dr. Mrs. Ame Ogbemudia Umago in a one-day youth seminar with the topic Stop and Think, Don't Waste Your Pain, which was held at Our Lady of Fatima Catholic Church in Benin. The report. Taking a message from the book of Proverbs, Dr. Mrs. Ame Ogbemudia Umago explained that engaging in social vices like sexual immorality, excessive drug intake, cultism, and other negative exploitative acts are capable of causing setbacks to anyone. She said that these social vices ravaging the youth are not just harmful to their personal development, but also distract them from the actual purpose for their lives, sharing several ways the youth could avoid some of these social vices that can pose as temptations, such as praying and complete abstinence from corruptible thinking.
How should I act when I'm faced with this temptation with my friends? How should I act? You have 5 things to do. Say, when you see that you are always being pressured by your friends to say, oh boy, test this thing. How does that help you? If your friend cannot show you the road of progress, it's coming to show you the road that will destroy you. Is that a friend? No. Don't go drinking with people and then when you say, boy, I have a business to invest in this, can I get 100,000? Say, not get. But you can use that or say 100,000 to buy this. Is that a friend? So stay away from such friends.
There was an interactive session which involved questions from the youth concerning their experiences with their personal lives, and answers were given by the guest speaker, Dr. Mrs. Ame Ogbemudia Umago, and Professor Mrs. Felicia Ofegbu.
I'm trying to ask, how does one tackle this? They say it's a natural occurrence. What's the best thing they use now, which is this sexual arousal? might just be on your own and you are just having that experience. From recent, I've got a circular that this is the energy of creation. Use it to create anything. I don't know what to create. I don't know how to. Now I've even gone out of my own age to discover all my status because I'm single.
When you are looking for him, you just ask me. When you are looking for me, you just ask me that kind of thing. So I want to know what kind of solution or help that you can bring to that particular kind of person.
When you are intoxicated or you are high, you pass the limit, you start misbehaving. You do not know what you're doing. So as a guy, if you're close to a lady, you might be tempted and you might fall into temptation. And also as a lady, if you're close to a guy, you might be tempted and you might also fall into temptation.
Your mind actually transmits decisions in your head. If your mind transmits decisions, whatever your mind transmits in your head, what you do at that time. That is a spiritual thing. Because nobody sees your senses. Nobody sees your sensor. You can only explain how you feel, but nobody is seeing it. And until that thing is broken, it cannot stop. So you're on your own, you have to also be careful.
But an electrician does not want to put the light in your house. You have light in your house. So everybody is different. Don't look at others, just look at yourself and progress the way to solve that problem. That was how he managed to solve it. You can decide to find a way of solving your problem. If you the old is there, go and take very cold bath and even with your clothes on, you will find that it's cool down.
Professor Mrs. Felicia Ovegbo, in an interview session with BeeTv News, said the seminar was to remind the youth why they must invest positively on themselves and not give in to things that will derail their purpose. She thanked the guest speaker, Dr. Mrs. Ame Ogbemudia Umumago, for her insightful teaching.
These days, it appears that our youth have been challenged. Either they are challenged spiritually, religiously, economically, politically, in fact, in all spheres of life. Somehow, it appears that they themselves, they are lost. They don't know where they are coming from and where they are going. So this seminar is to actually to try and see how we can shift them to the right direction. And where is the right direction? God.
The seminar had in attendance good numbers of youth from Our Lady of Fatima Catholic Church. Gifts Uwagbo reporting for BeeTv News. The Lagos State government says it has arrested more than 9,000 persons for various environmental offences, including failing to use the pedestrian bridges, open defecation, and street trading over the past year. Commissioner for the Environment, Tokunbo Wahab, said the ministry has also cleared rail tracks and demolished shanties under Akpobongbo Bridge, Lekki, Victoria Island, Obalede, Agege, and Lagos Badagry Expressway. The report.
It is another ministerial briefing for the Ministry of Environment and Water Resources, and the Commissioner Tokunbo Wahab highlighted the achievements recorded so far and other areas needing attention.
We need to get our people to behave properly. That is the key part of it. Citizens must be responsible.
Waste management, which has remained a major challenge for the mega city, received significant attention with a plan to transform waste into clean energy.
Last May, initial and witnessed the signing of an MOU with a Dutch firm for the construction of a high-efficiency 60 to 80 megawatt waste-to-energy plant on the Epe landfill. The innovative waste management solution is expected to take some 40,000 homes off the national electricity grid, and the technology will enhance energy security and diversification.
The commissioner said the ministry has constructed public toilets at strategic locations across the state to promote proper sanitation and hygiene while intensifying enforcement against environmental offenders.
The state, in recognition of the need to address open defecation, is constructing modern public toilets in markets, transport hubs, and informal settlement, just as the construction of additional 150 new public toilets is ongoing alongside an additional 250 toilets being executed through public-private partnership. At the last count, over 700 persons were arrested for highway crossing, which endangered their lives. A total of 3,786 street traders, environmental polluters, and cart pushers were arrested and prosecuted.
He added that government is working towards providing residents with access to safe drinking water by 2027, following the revival of the Adiyan water project, a move aimed at ending years of water scarcity in many communities across Lagos. Harmony Agba for reporting for BeeTv News.
And now tensions escalated in Yenagoa, the Bayelsa state capital, where the pro-Wike mega rally organized by the New Associates Group was disrupted after a gunshot was fired, leaving scores injured. The report.
The pro-Wike mega rally held in honor of the Federal Capital Territory Minister Nyesom Wike was intended to demonstrate solidarity and appreciation for his contributions to the state, as well as inaugurate the new associates at pro-Wike Group. The rally at the Church of God Mission Camp in Ibogene was cut short when gunshots rang out from nearby bushes. Attendees fled in panic, but security forces quickly intervened to restore order. Despite the chaos, the organizers insisted on holding the event.
We are not here to cause any trouble. We are here to express our support and solidarity to the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And I want to use this opportunity to commend the security agencies for having the courage and the boldness to defend and to repel those guys who came here to shoot at us sporadically.
After the dust settled, lead convener George Turner highlights the reasons behind the inauguration of the new associates.
We preach peace. We urge our youth to continue to maintain the peace. It is our young people, our youth, working in synergy with the security outfits that are keeping the peace in Bayelsa. Left for some of the managers, those who should be responsible and who should seek peace. If we look at their action, Bayelsa will burn. It is important to condemn what happened here earlier. This place was filled with capacity, jam-packed with people who came out, out of their free will and volition to support Mr. President, to support Minister Nyesom Wike, and to support the new associate.
Bayelsa State government has requested an investigation into the incident, citing concerns about the use of a religious campground for political activities. The government emphasized its commitment to preserving peace and security. Harmony Agbafo reporting for BeeTv News.
Respondent said that the factors does not
a place like Ibadan. If I want to eat now, let me say 1,500, I'm okay. But from here in those states, my brother, 2,000, you can't believe we're okay.
Hunger is a significant problem in Nigeria, with millions of people are facing food insecurity and malnutrition. The situation is exacerbated by factors like conflict, insecurity, rising inflation, and climate change. World Food Programme WFP has projected that 26.5 million Nigerians will experience acute hunger. However, respondents in Benin City have blamed the hunger strike in the country on transportation fares and increasing union activities, because most markets today are bound by unions and they control selling price of foodstuff, which become a monopoly, making it difficult for many to purchase food items at a cheaper rate. Transportation was another factor they said have also worsened the hunger crisis because major foodstuffs are transported to different parts of the country on high transportation fare, which influence the price of the items.
One of the factors that is causing hunger in this our country, Nigeria, number one is the increment of oil, which is fuel, gas, and diesel. Most especially the diesel, because all these food humanity needs to eat that make hunger to be far away from us
is the union and fuel rate subsidy are contributing to this hardship in Nigeria right now.
Our leaders, you understand? Then another thing, you're talking about Edo State here. Yes, about union. You understand? Sometimes people will buy something very cheap. Then because of the union, you understand? So something you buy, let me say something you buy like 5,000. You understand? Then the same 5,000, you go another place, you bought it 5,000. But when you come for those states, because of union, then the union will tell you, say, see the minimum amount you must say this thing. You understand? So then you yourself will surprise, say, how come? So I mean, I'm a traveler. Sometimes if I went to a place like Ibadan, if I want to eat, now let me say 1,500, I'm okay. But from here in those states, my brother, 2,000, you can't belly full, okay. Yeah? Even, let me say, start school on now. If you have like 2 kids, you cannot use 2,000 naira feed them for, buy things for them for school. You understand? So for those states here, it's union. Then we're talking about for the whole, let me say, for our country Nigeria, it's our leaders, our problem.
The major cause of hunger is inflation. Okay. The inflationary trend. And what trigger inflation is the cost of fuel. So if the price of fuel can come down, I believe everything will also come down. There's nothing, because everything is affected by fuel. The farmers, they will transport their goods from their farm to the cost of transporting goods alone. Look at the case of Benin, for example now. I think most of the food eating here are being transported from other states. So why you look at Benin, for instance, the cost of food in Benin is higher than some other states like the Southwest and North.
Our style of leadership needs to change. And another thing I also have to say, with the rate poverty is going, not just in Nigeria only, but in the world as globally, I think our leaders need to do the right thing.
If I'm there, look at say cow. The foreigners now, they destroy farms. They destroy farm now. You better know if you work now. So many people for farming now say they complain say cassava, the cassava cow, they destroy many cassava. That is why.
There may be numerous factors triggering hunger in Nigeria, but if relevant authorities take effective measures to tackle union trading and transportation fare, it will go a long way in addressing the situation. Freeman Osawe reporting for BeeTv News.
Nigerian First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has distributed various agricultural seedlings to farmers in Taraba State ahead of this year's farming season. This is part of the Renewed Hope Initiative Agricultural Support Program of the wife of the President under the Women and Youth Empowerment. The report.
The Nigerian First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, in a Renewed Hope Initiative program, has keyed into the President's policy with support of gardeners' wives across the country. Part of our intervention includes bags of maize, bags of fertilizers, water pumping machines, goats, old chicks bag of poultry feeds, poultry drinkers, poultry feeders, garden water kettles, packs of spinach seeds, and cash worth millions of naira, symbolizes hope, empowerment, and sustainability. Now farmers in Taraba State are set for a bumper harvest through the First Lady's initiative as a wife of the Taraba State Governor distributes farm input. Mrs. Kefas explains that the project is organized into 4 categories that includes the Women Agricultural Support Program, the Youth Support Program, and the Every Home a Garden initiative.
This initiative, led by esteemed First Lady, aims to equip women and young farmers with the skills and support necessary to improve food production, enhance food security, and promote better nutrition. The project is organized into 4 categories: the Women Agricultural Support Program, the Youth Agricultural Support Program, the Every Home Garden Initiative, the Young Farmers Club, which is reproduced in all secondary schools in the state.
Various speakers gave their submission on the initiative.
A life-changing initiative made possible through the Renew Hope agenda of Her Excellency, the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Olurimi Tinubu.
The purpose of this project is to have food on every table in Nigeria. And we are starting in Taraba. And every household, every ward, every local government will benefit from it. We are so grateful, Your Excellency.
Your Excellency, at Taraba State, while we ensure food security and sustainability, we acknowledge your effort in this very sector.
Some of the beneficiaries share their views.
Chicks, not just because I was given one, I'm used to it and I feel very excited. I'm happy I'm part of this, and I believe with the little I have today, I will raise them and business will continue.
I learned that give us a skills that can help us to farm and get some things that we can feed with our family and all the rest of the stuff.
Students from Saliu Dogo Secondary School were not left out as they had training under the agricultural scheme. The students were organized into young farmers clubs and provided with the necessary materials to commence practical farming activities in their schools. Sohe Osemegi reporting for BeeTv News.
The Plateau State government are worried over the incessant killings and destruction of properties across some selected communities in the state. The federal, state, and local governments are intensifying efforts in finding a lasting solution. The report.
Consultations have continued across stakeholders by the government in search of a lasting solution to the insecurity witnessed in some selected communities in Plateau State. President Bola Tinubu, after a meeting with security chiefs on the rising insecurity, recently ordered them to work closely with state and local authorities in tackling the menace. The state government has invited these critical stakeholders to the government house to discuss further ways to improve the security situations in the state.
Plateau is under siege. Why us? Who is behind it? Where are they coming from? Who sponsored them? What is their aim? These are questions that I thought I should not ponder on alone. I thought I should gather the owners of Plateau, the leaders of Plateau. Let's rub hearts together. Let's rub minds together. For how long shall this continue?
The Nigeria Bar Association Plateau State Chapter, the leadership of the Evangelical Church, Winning All, ECWA, and some stakeholders in the state have called on the federal government to allow state to establish their own police forces to curb the invasion.
Condemn in strongest possible terms these brutal and premeditated attacks and call on security agents to rise above rhetoric and deliver swift, visible, and effective justice. The continued bloodletting in Plateau State under the guise of communal crisis must no longer be treated with indifference or vague promises. The slogan should no longer be enough is enough, but it should be this is enough. Let's stand up and take action.
ECWA implores the government at all levels as well as all stakeholders to urgently address these interconnected menaces. We call for a concerted effort to develop and implement effective strategy to combat banditry, kidnapping, and militia attack, and to restore peace and security to our rural areas.
Putting an end to the invasion and killing of defenseless citizens is a task that all actors must prioritize to the end. Balumi Mukoro reporting for BeeTv News.
The Central Bank of Nigeria has reported a balance of payment surplus of $6.83 billion for the 2024 financial year, marking a decisive turnout from deficit of $3.34 billion in 2023 and $3.32 billion in 2022. This improvement reflects the impact of wide-range macroeconomic reforms, stronger trade performance, and renewed investor confidence. Current and capital accounts recorded a surplus of $17 billion in the year under review, underpinned by goods trade surplus of $13.17 billion. Petroleum imports declined by 23.2%, that's to $14 billion, while non-oil imports fell by 12.6% to $25 billion. On the flip side, gas exports rose by 48.3% to $8.66 billion, and non-oil exports increased by 24%. Personnel remittance rose by 8.9%. That's while international money transfer operator inflow surged by $4.73 billion compared to $3.3 billion in the year 2023, and that reflects stronger engagement from the Nigerian diaspora. In a world where distance is seen as a barrier of love, couples are finding innovative ways to nurture their relationship despite being apart. For those in long-distance relationships, the challenges can be daunting, but with the right approach, this relationship can not only survive but thrive. BeeTv News' Sandra Ogenekewe spoke with some married persons on the issue. The report.
Food we're supposed to give her, you know, give her. You need to find peace, nothing but peace and love.
Long-distance marriages are mostly faced with a lot of challenges, but with the right strategies and mindset, couples can thrive despite the distance. While some share their experiences, others give navigating insights on how to foster distant relationship.
To me, long-distance marriage, one of the challenges that is because, you know, one thing about ladies is that when you give them space, before you know, they lose control. So that is one of the challenges. When you give them space, before you know, they lose control. Some of them, you see, that is why you see some women, they will not step aside their marriage because of that long distance between she and the husband.
What I know about distant marriage is is not too good, and it also is good. As a family, as you know, as a man, as a married man, you can go out to find what's benefit to your family. So, what's okay for your family? Well, sometimes when you are trying to benefit your family, but it's good to remember home. Home is very important. But when you go far, you don't remember your family, you don't remember home. What are you working for? But distant marriage is not cool, especially a woman. A woman cannot accept a distant marriage like that as a woman, because if you even spend like 3 months or 4 months, you need to visit your family at home.
Actually, long distance marriage is not really a good marriage that I will advise couples or young couples to engage on, because most times the wife needs the husband to be beside her. Likewise, the husband also needs the wife to be beside him also. So the children, most especially, most times might be having that, might not be getting the proper father care from the father if the father is not around. Let's say, for example, a woman with 3 children, and the man is not there to assist for home choice and all of that. So it will really cause a big problem, and also it will make the woman, in terms of security will not be there for the children and also for the wife, and it might cause a very big home disorder or problem.
Some married people noted that infidelity is one of the challenges couples face in marriages. They emphasize that for long-distance relationship to have stronger bond, couples should ensure there is effective communication between spouses.
A long-distance marriage is better and it's still good for a marriage, but on the trust the man have for his wife. So for that long-distance marriage, It depends on the woman. If a close communication every day, I believe that the woman will not think sort of things, or maybe go outside or so. But if not, if maybe there's not a communication, so maybe the woman will be feel sad. So that make the woman will be going outside. So I believe so, but not all the women anyway. There's some women that know himself.
People don't understand what is called marriage. Marriage not be everything they say because I don't marry. You don't see it. You should understand. Through you and husband, you need to understand your husband. Husband understand your wife for the marriage. Because if you don't understand each other, mistake can come outside and inside. So you need to understand each of them. If you go example now, you went to outside, they tell you say your husband do this. You go first ask your husband first, you do this or you no do them. You can't start the hierarchy with your husband. The marriage don't end like that. This and this, always the time. So you with your man say, you see they observe your wife, or the behavior when they behave, you just talk to them. Two of now you're the hierarchy with everything. Now talk everything gentle, because marriage not be friendship.
Like long distance relationship is a no-no. Is a no-no. Considering the state of the economy right now, you might be tempted to do what you're not supposed to do. So it's just, that's my own opinion. Everybody has their own opinion. So for me, it's a no-no.
That kind marriage, in our work they bring them. But two couples will understand themselves, can live their life the way they want. I think understand me. One, if they know themselves, the woman will expect herself that to find another person, or the husband will expect himself to find another person. They can live longer and united with their children. So the man have to live where he did. Sometimes come visit his wife and see how he did. The woman sometimes he get chance, he went there and visit and know how he be. Even myself, I've lived at Benue State before, where my people has been here. Sometimes I visited my wife here, sometimes my wife visited me there to allocate and come this place and there together with them.
As long-distance married couples continue to encounter issues arising from distance, they are also encouraged to employ effective communication, trust, and mutual respect, which are key aspects to bridging the gap and maintaining a healthy relationship. Sandra Ogenekewe, reporting for BeeTv News.
Some residents in Benin City, Edo State, have called on the government to improve and revamp the tourist centers across the state, saying it could serve as a major economic opportunity if properly harnessed. They say Edo State is rich in culture, history, and heritage, all of which can attract both local and international tourists if the infrastructure and publicity around tourism is improved. The report. The residents said that the state government needs not only to improve tourist sites, but also capitalize on them as a strategic means to boost Edo State economic stability. They noted that if properly harnessed and managed, tourism could rival other sectors in generating revenue for the state. They highlighted key tourist sites such as Udo Resort Center, Okomu National Park, and Ogba Zoological Garden, which they believe hold massive untapped potential. These locations, they say, are already attracting local visitors, but require better infrastructure, maintenance, security, and promotion to draw in national and international tourists.
I don't say it's supposed to be a tourist attraction, but the government of the day, they are not serious about it. If they can develop it, like I know Udo Resort Center, if they can capitalize on it, it can really boost the economic state of this economic stability of this state. Then you talk of even the Ogbazu is being neglected. Then Okomu wildlife is being neglected.
So is that as far as Edo State is concerned, there is no security in Edo State. People that want to come in, if he can't come to this state because insecurity. The right thing for the government to do is to put the right machinery in place. If I'm the person that can do it, give me the go ahead, not giving somebody that will not do it. Like you can imagine, it's really like health center now. A man that read a mechanical engineer, you put it as his director. When you have a doctor or pharmacist, so it becomes funny.
Residents of Edo State believe that improving security is crucial to attracting more tourists. With a safer environment, better infrastructure, and effective promotion, the state's cultural and historical attraction could become a major economic asset. Gift Uwagbo reporting for BeeTv News. And now to the foreign scene, where the International Court of Justice is hearing a case about Israel's responsibility to allow humanitarian aid to reach Palestinians in Gaza and the occupied West Bank. Also, voting has begun in Canada, where a snap election will decide the country's next prime minister. BeeTv News Global News correspondent Rebecca Goffey tells us more on this and other stories from the foreign scene.
The International Court of Justice is hearing a case about Israel's responsibility to allow humanitarian aid to reach Palestinians in Gaza and the occupied West Bank. The case was brought after the UN General Assembly asked the court for guidance following Israel's ban on the UN agency UNRWA. UNRWA, the main aid provider in Gaza, has been accused by Israel of being infiltrated by Hamas, though this claim has been disputed. During the hearing, UN and Palestinian representatives accused Israel of using aid restrictions as a weapon of war. Meanwhile, voting has begun in Canada, where a snap election will decide the country's next prime minister. The election comes just 6 weeks after Mark Carney replaced Justin Trudeau as prime minister. The two main contenders are Carney's Liberal Party, which has been in power for nearly 10 years, and the Conservative Party, led by Pierre Poilievre, which was what was expected to be a vote on the Liberals' timing. Power has now focused on who can best handle Donald Trump, according to reports. And lastly, on global news, a massive power outage has hit large parts of Spain and Portugal. Madrid's mayor has urged people to stay off the roads and to call emergency services only if it's urgent. In Portugal, police said traffic lights are down, the metro system in Lisbon and Porto are closed, and there were long queues at cash machines. The head of Spain's electricity network said it could take between 6 to 10 hours to restore power. Andorra and parts of France were also affected, but the Balearic and Canary Islands were not. And that's it from the global scene. Rebecca Goffey reporting for BeeTv News.
And now to the exciting world of entertainment. The top names in music converge at the Eco Convention Center in Victoria Highland, Lagos, on Saturday night as the Eddies Awards return to Nigeria after 2 consecutive years in Atlanta, Georgia, USA. The report. The event, themed Back to Base and Apologetically African, honored excellence in African music during the eligibility period from April 1st, 2023 to July 31st, 2024. The 17 headies also introduced 2 new categories, Soundtrack of the Year and Best Performance Live, expanding the scope of recognition for artists' contributions to the industry. The event was marred by poor time management and technical issues, forcing the organizers to end the ceremony abruptly before the announcement of winners in some major categories. Funke Akindele's record-charting movie, A Tribe Called Judah, won the newly introduced Soundtrack of the Year award. Others include Best Recording of the Year, Thames Burning, Best Vocal Performance Male, Billions by Loje, Best Vocal Performance Female, Leah, I Am Done, Next Rated Award, Odumodu Black, Rookie of the Year, Zeridiel, Album of the Year, Loli Adeto by Ashake, Songwriter of the Year, Chimamanda Per Chukuma Vision, King Madi, amongst others. In a heartfelt moment at the 2025 Eddies Award, Wumi, the widow of late Nigerian singer Mohbad, accepted the prestigious Best Street Hop Song Award on his behalf, delivering an emotional tribute to her late husband. The award, which recognized Mohbad's contribution to the music industry, was his hit song, Ask About Me, was accepted by Wumi alongside their 2-year-old son, Leah, Mohbad's immediate younger brother, Adura, and the rest of the Imolenization family. Expressing deep gratitude for the honor, Wumi said, and I quote, "On behalf of myself, my son Liam, my husband's immediate young brother Adura, and the rest of the Imolenization family, we want to thank you for the award. Even though Mohbad is no longer here with us, he lives in us. And lastly, on entertainment, popular Nigerian skit maker and content creator Habib Al-Smart, also known as Pella, has openly expressed his disappointment after being unable to live stream the 17th Headies Award. The ceremony was held on April 27, 2025 at the Landmark Event Center in Lagos. In a video clip that surfaced online, Pella, looking visibly dejected, explained that despite making every effort to stream the prestigious event for his followers, several barriers were intentionally placed in his way by people he had trusted to assist him. He also noted that beyond the streaming disappointment, many of the celebrities he had looked forward to seeing at the event were absent, further dampening his spirits. And that's it on entertainment news tonight. Gifts Uwagbo reporting for BeeTv News. And that's the size of our news package for tonight. Many thanks for joining us. I am Gifts Uwagbo. Have a good night.